Welcome to Cryptid Explain. I'm your host, Polly. Jake Pistachio, Jake Pistachio, he's a little sick today, so he's not going to appear in a few videos. Today we're going to be reacting to a channel called Disappearing with No Face. They have like 3 videos. It's going to be a fun time, and the host's name is Moth. Let's get right into it.
And in today's video, we'll be talking. Hello everyone, and welcome to episode 1 of Disappearances. I'm your host. And in today's video, we will be talking about the mysterious disappearance of Kaylee Hansen and how it links to a greater mystery.
They blur her face out, her eyes, but you can see her eyes before they do that.
We will be talking about the mysterious disappearance. And in today's video, we will be talking about the mysterious disappearance.
I think it would be best for Kaylee if that was fixed for confidentiality, privacy. I might email Moth about this. They might like to know that. Sorry. Let's jump right into it.
Kaylee Hansen and how it links to a greater mystery surrounding the wilderness and a strange man who has been seen around the same time as the disappearance. Kaylee Hansen was born on August 7, 2002, and lived a happy life with her parents growing up in the Florida suburbs. It was when she turned 3 that things would turn for the worst in her life. Her parents were divorced, leaving her in a broken home, with her mom trying her best to raise the kid on her own, but it wasn't enough. It would be Sunday, September 10, 2006, an average day for the two, where Kaylee's mom would take her daughter to the park, where she would play and herself would relax. This would be the last day Kaylee was seen. Police reports show that many witnesses described seeing the girl 1 minute walking around the lining of the fence, and the next she was gone. Police would have...
Initial thoughts about this. I think, a lot of blame could be put on the mother so far. Watch your kid. Don't let your kid run around unsupervised, even if it's at a public park with people there. Watch your kids, people, please.
Investigators later arrest Mark Hansen after discovering Kaylee's clothes and toys in the house. Many would believe the story as it was the only thing in the news, but what many would not realize is this isn't the full story. Martha Hansen would describe a huge hatred for Mark. And then tell the police she saw Mark's car at the park and was convinced he took her kid out of drunken anger. She would constantly call the police to make false reports, which would lead to the eventual investigation and arrest of Mark. However, Martha would later admit that Kaylee missed her dad and they planned to hang out at the park that day, for which he never showed up, allegedly for suspecting Martha to try and make him violate the restraining order clause. In fact, the whole week Mark was out of town for this reason. So how could they arrest Mark? Authorities later arrested Mark's friend, Edward White, as well. Edward White was later suspected to be affiliated with the kidnapping. Edward was in the area at this time and was driving in one of Mark's cars, the same car that had reported was at the park. So case closed, right? Edward kidnapped Kaylee from Mark. That's what many were led to believe. However, Edward was at a convenience store down the street.
So, let me get this straight. So far, I feel like maybe the mom is just like schizophrenic. Cause, no, think about it. Don't laugh. Think about it. I can hear you through the screen laughing. She disappeared, and the mom said it had to be the husband or the husband's friend. She wasn't watching the kid, so either there's just another third random guy, or she's batshit crazy. And, condolences to Kaylee and her family. But either way, the mom's in the wrong here because she wasn't watching her kid, and she's probably crazy.
And when he left the convenience store, he went to a local pharmacy down the street. Edward was never found at the park, but the search team still never found Kaylee. So what happened to Kaylee? Who took her? In media interviews done after the investigation, several parents began recognizing their kids with a strange, tall figure in the woods near Kaylee. They all described the same slender, tall man to be wearing all black, pale smooth, and no face. Many have discredited this to be parents.
If this series turns out to be the long man is stealing children, I'm gonna go crazy. Because, you know, it's not okay to say urban myths, urban legends stole real children. That's disrespectful. The long man is not real.
Media attention, but others think there's something deeper hiding in this mystery case. But the world will never know, because in 2008, Mark and Edward were both found dead in their cell, choking on their own blood. As for Martha, she has gone on record for saying she is happy to see Mark and Edward gone. But who is this long man, and why have so many people seen him? That'll be the discussion of our next episode of Disappearing with No Face.
Interesting. Yeah. I think I'm gonna find myself not liking our friend Moth over here. You know, that's okay. But that's not okay because... yeah, it's not okay. Because you can't blame a real child's disappearance on the long man. The long man's not real. The long man is a story to scare 7th graders. Oh, the long man's gonna get you. No, he's not. Let's move on to video 2. Tiffany Clifford. I think I remember this one on the news. Ah! Tiffany Clifford. Here we go.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 2 of Disappearing with No Face. I am your host, Moth.
Hello, Moth.
In today's video, we'll be talking about the mysterious disappearance of Tiffany Clifford, a case that was never solved, and how...
This is just worse than the last one. You can see her face. You're not even trying here. They're not even trying here. Okay, Moth. Yeah, I'm definitely gonna write Moth an email about this. Condolences to Tiffany Clifford and her family once again.
But links to a greater mystery surrounding America's wilderness and a strange long man. Tiffany Clifford was born June 19, 1992 in New Jersey to Don and Catherine Clifford. The family had also raised an American Pit Bull Terrier pup when they had Tiffany. Tragically, at age 27, Dawn would die in a car crash, leaving a 25-year-old Catherine to raise a newborn Tiffany all on her own. The years would be rough for Catherine, but eventually she would remarry to Jason Dunn. Tiffany would live a happy life with Jason and Catherine. That would be until 2003. It was a cool night in April. Tiffany's parents would be going on a date. Tiffany would be left with her babysitter, Emily Jacks. This would be the last night they saw Tiffany. The doors were locked, no windows were broken, and no doors were open.
So, from the last video, I can tell we're gonna blame the long man, not real, instead of the babysitter, or the pit bull, or anything real. It's not a kidnapper, it is a long man with tentacles. Let's get into this.
1 minute, Tiffany was there, next she was gone. Their pit bull started barking outside in the night and alerted her babysitter. Emily would call the police in a panic, crying and screaming about seeing a strange man outside the window near the forest. He was tall and featureless, his skin pale and smooth, and just looking at him sent chills down Emily's spine. The man would be described as standing outside the window, appearing to look into the house, never moving. Emily would then hear Tiffany scream for help. By the time Emily reached her room, both Tiffany and the man were gone. The phone call.
So far, my theory on this is that the babysitter accidentally fucking killed Tiffany. You know, it happens all the time. It does, really. It happens all the time. And then they blame things like pit bulls, like long men. It happens. I'm telling you, she is the real culprit in this case. 1 minute she was there next. Yeah, okay.
Made would be the only evidence as to what happened to Tiffany that night. The police would never arrest anyone, and any further investigations would prove useless.
Damn. Sorry, folks. I was choking on my water.
Emily would never be the same after that night. Her mental state would be forever altered. The screams of Tiffany and the loud barks at night still haunting her until 2005 at age 19. Emily would be found dead in her college dorm by her roommate. Autopsy would later show Emily had died from an aneurysm. The world will never know what Emily really saw that night, or who took Tiffany, but many have speculated it was the same man who took Haley.
Condolences to Emily's family.
Hands 3 years later. But who is this man? Many have theorized him to be some kind of demon, spirit of the forest, and even an angel of death. Still, no one knows who the long man really is. I question if we ever will. That's it for today's episode of Disappearing with No Face. Next time, we'll be discussing another mysterious disappearance linked to the long man.
Moth, I'm sure you're a great person, Moth. Please. These are real people, real children. Stop blaming it on phonies. It's quite frankly just disrespectful. And this is the last video on their page. Let's check it out.
This is Moth from the Disappearing with No Faces. I got this strange, like really strange paper. I got this from my house, my own house, and it's really this. I don't know how this got here. I don't know how they found my address, especially from the channel, since I don't post anything about my house or my face here. This is the only time you're ever gonna see my face. But until then, please, if you know who this is from, please, or if this is you, don't send this like that again. I'm really threatened, and I'm gonna be more careful with who I live with now. I'm gonna be careful in my neighborhood.
Well, Moth, if that's real, you know, I'm very sorry. But come on, you're not gonna I don't think this is real. Let's go back here. Yeah, that's not okay. I think you made that, and you're trying to draw attention to yourself because maybe you want more followers or something. Just please don't lie like this for all of our sakes. You know, my final thoughts on Disappearing with No Face. I'm sure Moth is a very nice person. I just don't agree with their business practices per se. We will be doing an episode on the Long Man on my channel. Yeah. This is Polly from Cryptids Explained. Thank you for watching. You know, as always, wake up.